Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something truly exciting. We're diving into the 2027 Jeep Recon, the all-electric SUV that Jeep says is built to redefine what an EV off-roader can be. If you're into rugged capability, electric power, and a vehicle that's as at home on the trail as it is in the city, stick around because this one's a big deal. First up, let's talk about what's under the hood, or more accurately, in this case, what's hidden beneath the floor. Because this is where the 2027 Jeep Recon EV really starts to separate itself from traditional gas-powered SUVs. Instead of a big engine up front, the Recon relies on a dual-motor electric powertrain, with one motor mounted on the front axle and another on the rear. This setup doesn't just replace an engine. It completely changes how the vehicle delivers power, responds to driver input, and performs both on and off the road. Together, these two electric motors are expected to generate around 650 horsepower and roughly 620 pound-feet of torque. To put that into perspective, that's more power than many V8-powered performance SUVs, and far more than what most people expect from a rugged, off-road-focused vehicle wearing a Jeep badge. What makes this even more impressive is how that power is delivered. Unlike internal combustion engines, which need to rev up and build momentum, electric motors provide instant torque. The moment you press the accelerator, the power is there. No delay, no waiting for gears to downshift, and no engine lag. This instant response dramatically changes the driving experience. On paved roads, it means the Recon feels quick, confident, and surprisingly sporty for a boxy SUV. Merging onto highways becomes effortless. Passing slower traffic takes a gentle squeeze of the pedal, and city driving feels smooth and responsive. Jeep estimates that this electric setup allows the Recon to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3.6 seconds, which is firmly in sports car territory. That's the kind of performance usually associated with high-end performance sedans or super SUVs, not something designed to crawl over rocks and tackle muddy trails. But speed in a straight line is only part of the story, and honestly, it's not even the most important part for a Jeep. Where this dual-motor setup truly shines is in how it manages power distribution. Because the Recon doesn't rely on a traditional mechanical drivetrain, it can instantly adjust how much power goes to the front or rear wheels. This electronic control allows the vehicle to react far faster than any conventional four-wheel drive system. If one wheel starts to slip, the system can reduce or redirect power in milliseconds, improving traction and stability whether you're driving on wet pavement, loose gravel, snow, or uneven off-road terrain. For off-roading, this instant torque delivery is a game-changer. When climbing steep hills, navigating rocky paths, or easing over obstacles, precise throttle control is crucial. Electric motors excel here because they allow for smooth, predictable, and extremely controlled power output at very low speeds. Instead of revving an engine and carefully modulating a clutch or throttle, the Recon can crawl forward with calm precision. This makes technical trails less stressful and more accessible, even for drivers who aren't hardcore off-road veterans. Another advantage of the dual-motor system is balance. With one motor at the front and one at the rear, weight distribution is more even compared to a traditional SUV with a heavy engine up front. Combined with the battery pack mounted low in the chassis, this gives the Recon a lower center of gravity, which improves handling and stability. On the road, this translates to reduced body roll in corners and a more planted feel at highway speeds. Off the road, it helps the vehicle stay composed on uneven surfaces, reducing the chances of tipping or feeling unstable on steep angles. Noise, or rather the lack of it, is another noticeable difference. Without a roaring engine, the Recon delivers a much quieter driving experience. On the highway, this means less vibration and a calmer cabin, making long trips more comfortable. Off-road, the quietness can be almost surreal. You hear the crunch of gravel, the wind through the trees, and the sounds of nature instead of engine noise. For many outdoor enthusiasts, this adds a new level of connection to the environment, though Jeep has also considered adding artificial sound cues for safety and feedback when needed. Of course, having this much power also raises questions about control and durability, especially for a vehicle meant to leave the pavement behind. Jeep engineers have clearly taken this into account. The electric motors are sealed and protected against water, dust, and debris, allowing the Recon to handle water crossings and harsh conditions. The power delivery is carefully tuned so that while the vehicle is capable of explosive acceleration, it never feels uncontrollable. Different driving modes adjust throttle sensitivity, ensuring that you get smooth responses during off-road crawling and sharper reactions when driving on the street. From a practical standpoint, the absence of a traditional engine also means fewer moving parts. There's no oil to change, no transmission with multiple gears, and far less mechanical complexity overall. For owners, this could translate to lower maintenance costs over time. While EVs have their own considerations, such as battery longevity, the simplicity of electric motors is a major advantage compared to conventional drivetrains. It's also worth noting how this performance aligns with Jeep's broader vision. The Recon isn't trying to be just another fast electric SUV. Its power is purposeful. That 650 horsepower isn't only about bragging rights or drag-strip numbers. It's about confidence, capability, and versatility. Whether you're towing, climbing, overtaking, or simply enjoying a spirited drive, the power is there when you need it, delivered in a smooth and controlled way that suits both adventure and everyday use. In simple terms, what Jeep has done with the Recon's dual-motor electric setup is blend raw performance with intelligent control. It delivers the kind of acceleration that excites enthusiasts, the kind of torque that off-roaders crave, and the kind of refinement that daily drivers appreciate. It challenges the old idea that rugged vehicles have to be slow, noisy, and inefficient, proving that electrification can actually enhance the very qualities Jeep is known for. So when you hear numbers like 650 horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time of 3.6 seconds, don't think of them as just statistics. Think of them as a glimpse into how the 2027 Jeep Recon EV reshapes the experience of driving a Jeep, making it faster, smoother, more capable, and more adaptable than ever before, while still staying true to the adventurous spirit that defines the brand. You're also getting standard all-wheel drive, thanks to those two motors, which work together to send power exactly where it's needed, whether that's straight down the highway or climbing over rocks on a backcountry trail. Unlike many EV SUVs that focus only on street performance, Jeep has tailored the throttle response so it feels confident and controllable when you need finesse at low speeds. Now, I mentioned off-roading, and that's where the Recon really tries to set itself apart. It's been engineered with classic Jeep capability in mind. You get select terrain traction management with multiple modes like Auto, Sport, Snow, Sand, and even Rock mode on certain trims. There's electronic locking differential, low-speed control for steep climbs or descents, and about 9+ inches of ground clearance paired with standard 33-inch all-terrain tires. All of that means this EV really isn't just for looks. It's designed to handle rugged trails with confidence. Range is always a big question with EVs, especially when you're talking about adventure vehicles. With its roughly 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack, Jeep estimates up to around 230 to 250 miles of range on a full charge, which isn't class-leading, but it's respectable given the power and off-road focus. Fast charging can bring you a significant boost in a short stop, meaning less time plugged in, more time exploring. Let's shift gears and talk design, because Jeep didn't just electrify an existing SUV. The Recon has its own identity. It still wears the iconic Jeep 7-slot grille, now illuminated, and the upright, purposeful stance you'd expect from something meant to go anywhere. True to Jeep's open-air heritage, you can remove the doors, the rear quarter glass, and even the swing-gate glass without any tools, bringing that classic, liberating experience Jeep fans love. Only now in an EV form. Inside, the Recon blends rugged practicality with modern tech. You're surrounded by a large digital cluster and a big infotainment screen that together offer over 26 inches of display, running Jeep's latest Uconnect software. There's clever storage throughout, modular panels and room for gear, luggage, or whatever you bring along for the adventure. Jeep has even used recycled materials in the cabin, showing they're thinking about sustainability beyond just zero tailpipe emissions. And because this is 2027 and people expect connectivity, the Recon doesn't disappoint. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all the driver assist and safety features you'd hope for are on board, and Jeep packs in an impressive suite of standard safety tech to keep you protected on long journeys or tight trails. But let's be real for a second. This isn't a perfect vehicle. Some people online have pointed out that the range isn't groundbreaking for the price point and capability, especially if you compare it to some other EVs with more highway focus. And for hardcore Jeep traditionalists, the lack of a traditional solid axle might be a letdown for extreme off-road purists. Yet for most drivers, the Recon delivers an exceptional balance of rugged personality and modern EV performance. So, what's the bottom line? The 2027 Jeep Recon is a bold step for the brand, electrifying its legendary outdoor spirit without diluting what Jeep stands for. It's powerful where you want it, capable where you need it, and exciting because it proves electric vehicles can be more than just city cars, they can be adventure machines too. If you're thinking about this as your next daily driver, weekend warrior, or even your first EV, this is one that earns a serious look. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more reviews like this. Let me know in the comments. Would you take an electric Wrangler-like beast like this out into the wild? I'll see you in the next one.